And we are joined now by Breiden Fehoko, former defensive lineman, and someone who put out a tweet who was very passionate about something we're going to have a conversation about. Breiden, man, appreciate you joining the show.
What's happening?
How you guys doing tonight? I appreciate you guys for having me.
No doubt, man. We're doing well. We want to get into this. I want to start by reading your tweets, and then I want you to just, speak to what you were referring to and what had you so emphatic. I'm going to keep it a stack. I don't care. I'm retired. I'll say what I want. These NFL teams come out here and post these mental health awareness posts talking about they care about players. Don't be afraid to reach out, etc. All they care about is what you bring to the table when it's game day. Most players don't want to get help inside the building of an NFL organization because they know you'll get looked at differently. You go to a staff member, tell them you're struggling, watch how different they start treating you and looking at you. I've seen it firsthand. I'll start believing that they care about players' health when the owners, GM, and head coach treat everyone on the roster the same, from the quarterback to the janitor. Until then, don't tell me that they care because they posted some hotline number when blank like this happens, and I'm here for all my brothers. Just want to talk about and shoot the blank. Love y'all, care about y'all. What made you put that out there?
First and foremost, I think for me, it's just I got just mental health ordeal. And
Break, can you start that last sentence over? Your phone went out. Can you say that part again for us?
Oh, sorry. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
I said, for me, somebody who's played in the NFL, I just got very sick and fatigued on the fact that every time something like this happens, then teams and owners and social media accounts, they start to try to attract awareness. When this is something that goes on 24/7, 365 days a year, and for somebody who's lived through it, somebody who's gone through it, somebody who's had mental health issues, who actively goes through therapy while I was playing and still now, even while I'm retired, I just got sick and fed up of it because we wait for players like the Marshawn Nealons, the Rondale Moores, the Doug Martins, who are, retired and have passed on to the next life. We wait for something like this to happen for us to be an awakening of like, what can we do as a fraternity, or what can we do as the National Football League to make sure this doesn't happen again? Well, for me, I'm just sick of it. They claim that there's team clinicians, which they are, but as men, we don't feel secure within an NFL building and organization to go and ask for help because honestly, and I'm speaking the facts on a bunch of players who've been in my position, not all 53 guys on the NFL roster can feel they can go to somebody within a building and feel like they can get help and looked at in a certain way where they're respected and their job won't change based on the description they're asking. And so that's part of the reason why I spoke up, honestly, man. I just wanted to create awareness. And as somebody who's played in it, somebody who's been through it, I was just fed up with it. And something needs to change. And I'm tired of watching the brotherhood and fraternity of NFL players feel like they have to resort to taking their own life in situations like this,
Right, it's a sad situation, and I hear exactly your the pain and what has happened in the NFL. But I will push back, and I'm going to push back from if you the players don't demand better from the owners and the people you keep signing these CBAs with, without these things and these safeguards for yourself. The idea that you're expecting them to do it for you is just, I don't understand it. You guys, and I'm talking about football players, have a terrible health care package, terrible retirement package. So if you don't care about that, okay, I'm just saying, you feel me what I'm saying, okay? Because I'm saying if you're not going to do it, why would they? Why would they care? You know what you guys voted for in the last CBA? To have less practice and smoke weed. That's what you voted for, not to make sure that your family, your kids, your wife have lifetime health care. Go look at the CBA in Major League Baseball and what they have. Go look at it. It's disgraceful what the NFL has, and the things you're talking about are things that should be in that CBA to safeguard these players. I hate that I'm so passionate, but it's driving me crazy. I've been covering the National Football League since 1987. When is somebody there going to wake up? And I'm talking about the players. The owners will never do it. Never.
So, let me tell you this. I was always a roster bubble guy. I was always a back-end roster guy where I've always fought and clawed my way onto a roster. And I was always a guy on the back end where I got to see a different perspective, right? What you're talking about right now in regards to our NFLPA, the NFLPA is constructed from a top-down hierarchy. Whereas if you're not a star player, if you're not somebody who is a Pro Bowler or somebody who is looked at as a big multi-year million-dollar contract guy, you won't have a voice in our PA. So as much as, like you said, it comes down to the player speaking up, the player association constructed by the NFL, players itself, is made for the players to fail. There's nobody on that board like a Breiden Fehoko who can speak up for the smaller fish, the journeyman, the 75 to 80% of players like me who make up the league, right? That players association is made for the richer hierarchy in the players where how can we as the smaller tier, the 10 to 20% of guys that make 50 to 60 million, the quarterbacks, the receivers, the DBs, the star pass rushers. How can we keep our money? How can we make the owners happy? That's what the problem is. If you look on my social media, I've been active about the NFLPA, who's in charge of it, the power of it. I've tried to voice my opinion over time. I talked about how our own NFLPA vice president was out in Atlanta going to strip clubs, putting it on the NFLPA's credit card. He was ordering up lamb chops at Magic City. I'm going crazy for saying this, but that's the type of BS we have. Since the day I stepped into the NFL, whether I was on the active roster or on the practice squad, I've always tried to voice my opinion and be constructive about trying to get in a position of power to be a player representative on a team. But the problem is they will not, and it's just the way it is, they will not put guys in the smaller fish or the guys that make up the bottom end of a roster in a position of power to speak up for the Players Association. Because at the end of the day, you tell me, you guys have seen it, when they have player association presidents or player representatives from each team, they're not going to put Breiden Fehoko as a player rep for the Pittsburgh Steelers or for the Los Angeles Chargers. They're going to put a big name guy there. And when it comes to it, these guys get to Maui or get to Florida every year for the NFLPA press retreats and conferences and meetings every year. And like you said, in the last CBA, they care more about how much THC levels we can pass on a drug test versus getting lifetime health care. In a year where the NFL was supposed to be on a back-end year during COVID where they held our funds for us, DeMaurice Smith, the old NFLPA president, doubled his salary that year. During a COVID year where we were supposed to be low on funds and everybody was supposed to take a cut, where the salary was supposed to be held, right, in the reserves of the income fund, the 401k funds, the severance funds, the back pays of NFL player performance at the end of the year. While we held out and while we took pay cuts, the guys by the name of DeMaurice Smith and Lloyd and all those other guys saw raises in their salary. So that's the problem. Well, I've been so passionate about trying to get in a position of power, but that's the problem is they never want the small fish to get involved because when the small fish get involved, it disrupts the hierarchy of the Players Association. When the star players, when their opinions aren't heard, that's a problem for the NFL.
Breiden, man, we got to end it there. We appreciate you, man, coming on and sharing your passion. Again, rest in peace to Rondale Moore, and we appreciate you speaking up like you are, brother. All right, Rob, so they're watching us right now, which means another thing they can do is what?
They can subscribe. All you got to do is hit that button, subscribe to The Odd Couple for some of the best sports talk content in the nation.
Facts, and while you're at it, they can like, they can comment, they can share. Do all that for us. We appreciate it. Just do all that right up in here.